Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Gemini August 2024 reading and forecast high. I'm Nigel St. James, clairvoyant. Well, this month we have an interesting deck. It's based around creatures known as the Fae. F-E-Y, spelt in English, otherwise known probably as fairies. Now, it might surprise you to know that there's actually quite a long tradition of fairies coming out of Persia. In the Middle East, in the old days, it was taken into early Christianity, certainly, and I suppose there's some aspect of it in Vedic tradition as well with the devas, the beings of light, because they are said to be creatures that are like little wisps of flame. And what they do is they facilitate the good, where there is a good intention produced by the human mind towards something or someone on the planet of Earth. And so, we shall see what they say to us. I do find the artwork to be particularly helpful in discovering the cosmic energies that are swirling around you at the moment. Now, you might know that I provide clairvoyant readings for people from different parts of the world over FaceTime and Skype. Really easy to do. And a lot of people have done that over the last month. And if you might be interested in having a clairvoyant reading, you see, clairvoyance is a spiritual gift. It shows up in about 1 in 10 million people, on my estimation, from all the times I've traveled around the world. And check it out if that's of interest to you. Now, what I do also offer, and this is, I have to charge for clairvoyant readings. I've got to pay for the phone and eat and things. But there's another gift that I was given at birth, and that is the gift of healing. Why me? I don't know. There's nothing special about me. But I provide it for free. There is no obligation. There are no strings attached. You will not be sold or recommended anything. The purpose of it is to produce good. And it is my sole purpose to use this ability which was conferred for free upon me, and therefore I do not charge for it. So many people have benefited from this, not just here in YouTube, but in all the years, 40 years or so that I've been doing it. It just astonishes and humbles me. It really does. Now, if that speaks to you, check out the information that's in the description below as well, and contact me and we'll arrange a time to do it over FaceTime and Skype, unless you happen to be living in my home city, of course. For free, no strings attached, and you don't have to do anything. So let's take 5 cards, shall we? Because they're very talkative, and see what's in store for you. Show me the magic. The Fool. Well, this is a good time of year to get that, I would suggest. There's Temperance. Here is the Hanged Man. Gee, 3 major arcana in a row for you. Great month. The 8 of Earth. And finally, what's this? You shall have a look. And it is the Council of Monarchs. Indeed. Well, I'll bring the camera around. You and I can have a good close look at the very colourful and interesting artwork that's painted here. And I can determine the cosmic energies that are swirling around, and you and I can discuss them while I do the reading, especially for you. A very powerful month for you, one which there is a self-involvement, I think, and I don't mean that in a bad way, rather than a very good, healing, restorative way. Absolutely massively shown by these major arcana here. You start in great success coming towards you. Look at this first central energy that's here and see what it has to say to us. This is the Hanged Man. Well, here we have a creature that, well, looks to be suspended by 1 foot from maybe the tail of a dragon, but it doesn't look as if this creature is worried about it, does it? Nor does it look as if, although suspended and upside down, almost meditating or contemplating herself and her condition, is nevertheless able to free herself at any time, should she so choose.
very much getting here the end of a situation or a relationship which is stuck. A time of letting go, of giving something up. I think of surrendering to yourself and your real values. Learning to see something in a new way, I think. And certainly here for you the necessity of breaking through old behavior patterns. It's almost as if you are changing, going through a metamorphosis, like from a caterpillar to a butterfly. Now this number 12, which you see here, XII in Latin, of course, that is the number of, well, you may know it as spiritual enlightenment, and also of faith, but faith which is shored up with the wisdom of the 12 signs of the zodiac. This is telling you that there is a need to withdraw from social opinions, from old worn-out beliefs and lifestyles. I think what's happening now is that you're being forced to look at life in a completely different way, you know. Now, many times you have experienced situations through your own personal tunnel vision, would I be right in saying? Or even sometimes through rose-coloured glasses. Well, we've all done that, haven't we? And you can live your life like this for years and years until something unsettling drives a stake into your path. Well, then this is what this energy is doing by stepping in. It's helping you to see and to think about what the bigger picture of life is, and what particularly the bigger picture of you. And I see this being reinforced here. I'll come to this in just a second. This is bringing to you a time of accepting of who you are, surrendering to yourself, and, as I say, of letting go of old values, ideas, lifestyles, old patterns of thinking about yourself, or other situations that are causing you struggle or aggravation in your life. This is helping you clear the confusion, you see, and to avoid conflict, to dampen it down. It's taking you into a place of great understanding now. Your limitations are going to be released, and you are going to re-emerge with a new perspective, I think, and with new purpose in your life. Now, the astrological impact of this is, well, in some respects I'm tempted to say Neptune, but I'm not quite sure that we have a handle on the actual astrological and psychological astrological meanings of those outer planets of Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Myself, Neptune is said to be a higher octave of Venus, but certainly I can see Venus here. Venus, which is associated with a period of craving, of desire, of looking after number one, that real immersion into what I want from matter. And sometimes this can run across what the interests and desires of other people are, and what they have, and what they might themselves have legitimate interests in doing. Well, I think that this is providing you with an opportunity to redeem yourself in a situation if something has turned sour, particularly in emotional situations. I think you now have the opportunity to put things right, almost as if you are bringing light back onto darkness here. There is here a sense that there is a redemption or a repair of a situation that is related to an emotional event or any wrongs that you might have committed spiritually. It's important to know that you always have redemption available to you. With the way that our society works today and the incessant access to social media, we have a society which is kind of fragile. And the fragility of our era is this, that we don't believe that there is a chance for redemption. We don't believe that there is a chance for a hand to come in and raise you up, for an embrace to save you, to forgive you, to pick you up, and to flood you with infinite, patient, indulgent love, and to put you back on your feet. Now, being itself is always there, ready to provide you with release, forgiveness, and the rejoining and coming back to the good. So I see that this is also a time when you should give up ties to, well, emotional guilt relating to things which have happened in the past. There's a freedom now available from this redemption, a freedom from guilt or blame. I also think it's now possible for you to recognize where you are stuck and in which areas of your life where they are congealed and stagnating rather than flowing. Now, there isn't anything for you to do. The mere act of understanding your reality clearly makes this transformation possible. Now, you might ask yourself this question: in what areas of your life are you stuck? Are you ready to recognize and let go of those concrete-like forms of thought and behavior patterns? Say this to yourself: I value being in the position to get rid of old patterns. I trust and have faith in the essence of who I am. I surrender to the higher path and to God's will. I let go and realize, follow, and accept the will of the divine in my life, which reveals itself to me step by step. Now, this other card here, I'm sure, is connected with that in this sense of, the information that I'm getting through is very abstract in relation to this. Let's have a look at the picture first. Well, this makes a lot of sense to me in this context with the energy. Now, here is obviously a fairy facing away from us. Here is the back of the head. She has her arms outstretched. And this storm which is raging, which we can call the storms of life, she holds it out, her hands out, and channels the downpour down and along her back, and then gently into this river below, which moves on to nourish life without flooding or destruction. Very much here, a lot of creative power. Getting a lot of the sign of Sagittarius around here. Sagittarius, of course, is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter is that planet which actually holds all of manifestation together, and it acts as a brake, if you like, to allow manifestation to catch up and to work out what is good before moving on again. This is really speaking for you to have a look inside and to see inside of you the power that really is there in you. To look inside you, to dig within yourself, to find the diamond, that spark of divinity which is in you. How might I go about talking about this? I think this might make sense, and I'll tell you a story. When I was growing up, I was happy to have grown up in an area that was surrounded by water and a lot of forest. And I found that trees were almost my most effective teachers. Still, I revere them where they live in their tribes and families in forests and groves. And even more, I revere them when they stand alone. Now, they are like lonely people, not like hermits who have stolen away out of some weakness, but rather the tree alone stands like a great solitary man, like a Caesar or a Napoleon. And in their highest boughs, branches, and leaves, the world rustles through them, and in their roots, well, the roots rest in infinity, but they do not lose themselves there. They struggle with all the force of their lives for one thing only, to fulfill themselves according to their own laws, to build up their own form, to represent themselves. Nothing is more sacred, nothing is more exemplary than a beautiful, strong tree. When a tree is cut down, of course, and it reveals its naked death wound to the sun, you can read the whole history of the tree in the luminous and inscribed disc of its trunk, can't you? In the rings of its years, its scars, all the struggle, all the suffering, all the sickness, all the happiness and prosperity, they really do stand truly written. The narrow years and the prosperous years. The attacks withstood, the storms endured. And you know that the narrowest rings are found in those trees that grow highest on the mountains and which are in continuing danger. Well, they are the most indestructible, the strongest, because there where things are tough, the ideal tree grows. Now, trees are sanctuaries. If you know how to speak to them, and whoever knows how to listen to them can learn the truth. They don't preach learning and detail. They preach, undeterred by details, the ancient law of life. You see, a tree will say to you, a kernel is hidden in me, a spark, a thought. I am life from eternal life. The attempt and the risk that the Eternal Mother took with me is unique. Unique is my form and the veins of my skin. Unique, the smallest arrangement of leaves in my branches and the smallest scar on my bark. I was made to form and reveal the eternal in my smallest special tree. And a tree says, my strength is trust. I know nothing about my fathers. I know nothing about the thousands of children that every year spring out of me. I live out the secret of my seed to the very end. And I care for nothing else. I trust that the divine is in me. I trust that my labor is sacred. And out of this trust, I live. So I think that what this is saying is that you will, by just setting your mind in an unconscious mode to look within yourself, you will find yourself and evolve at your natural pace. But definitely go through the exercise of doing the self-evaluation to re-examine your life's priorities and work in harmony from a place of stability and strength within you. You know, this really is a challenge for you to look inward now. And I hope my story has been a way of explaining what is otherwise, for me anyway, at the moment, the messages coming through are all coming through in symbols and colours and numbers, which don't make much sense, but which is why I use the story. But in this phase of bringing together the different aspects of your life. There's a transformation process going on within you, and it won't tolerate any further irritation or impulse or pushes from the outside. Literally, to find the hidden stone, the diamond, you must look within. So what does it mean now for you to find your hidden diamond? Close your eyes and visualize a fountain of energy in your body and bathe a while in this rejuvenating current. Say to yourself, I equally value the light and the dark within my own nature because I am a well-rounded person. I surrender to the transforming powers of the divine, and I am an open channel for creative energy. Now this Council of Monarchs that's here, I'm not quite sure. I think that this is bringing through a different sense, a different message that one might normally get from this, where you might be, well, I will say this anyway, that I think you might be interested in power during this period, and maybe power over yourself or power over other people. There are some new beginnings underway here for you. You'll be interested in ensuring that there is some sort of a structure around you. You'll be very ambitious, and I think you'll be taking a firm stand with yourself and with other people. But this is connected very deeply to these two cards here. I think that this is talking about compassion for yourself. And these monarchs, if you like, what they are saying to me, to pass on to you, is to forgive yourself for having chosen to expose yourself to people who don't care about your feelings, and help others to do the same. Enjoy life. It's as simple as changing your focus or perspective when you start thinking about people from the past who have hurt your feelings. Now, eventually, you're going to forget about those types of people because your time and attention is going to be taken up by more positive things, by more positive people, events, activities, etc. A lot of sexuality around here, I've got to say. Now, when you understand how much time is wasted trying to make people see you, understand you, respect you, or value you, or like you, or agree with you, all that time that you spend doing that, life becomes a pointless, negative fight for validation from others, and that will only drain your happiness. Because you are worth more than the indifference, the inattention, or the crumbs that people throw you. You are a monarch that demands respect, and God will bring the right people into your life to make you forget why you ever wasted your time on nothing important. Nevertheless, this is a really good moment for change or for a new beginning. I think by now it's safe to say that you should be in a position, aren't you, to trust yourself, trust your own energy and move with it. Now, ask yourself this: what churning up, what regenerating does your life need? And are there steps that you would like to take towards this? Examine yourself critically, especially in regard to people who, in the relationships that you have with them, there may be power differences between them. But say this to yourself now: I enjoy starting projects. I value and honor my leadership ability. I am a responsible person. I trust my power. I rule by serving, and I serve by ruling. Well, those monarchs have the wisdom, it seems to me, there. But take all this thing in here. There's great new starts coming here for you. This card is showing me that, well, bees sting people, don't they? And yet this creature is flying around oblivious to any danger from bees and just enjoying things and taking risks, taking the leap. And this thing of red here, I see that as a personification of fear, where you have conquered fear. This is a time now when you begin to have openness. There is trust now because you can trust in yourself. I think you're going to be ready to take risks now, and those risks are going to pay off provided that you do the right planning. More particularly, you're going to have the courage to stand your ground. Freedom and independence are very important to you. You've got enormous potential lying ahead of you with the projects that you put in place here. Listen to your heart's voice. It never lets you down. New beginnings here. There is here also, I think, the case that there is a possibility of a rebirth given to you now on all four planes of the human existence: spiritual, intellectual, emotional, and physical. All you need is the readiness to change in all areas. Your responsibility now is to your self-development. That's why I say that, I think I said at the beginning of the reading here, I had this sense that there was a self-involvement here. But it's perfectly okay to be self-involved at present. Now, you will be wanting to break free of the usual routine of life, but look upon life as this creature does and be empty and just trusting that, look, what you should do is live life now as if everything is rigged in your favor. Because you are ready for a new beginning now, perhaps even like a quantum leap. Give in, dare to leap. Even if this fear tries to hold you back, it has no power over you anymore. Trust the voice in your heart. But if I look at this fear here, what does fear look like for you? How do you imagine your now courageous leap into the new? What does it look like? Where does your heart call you to go? Say to yourself, I now follow my heart. I am open and ready to go wherever it may lead me. I am a radiant light being. I am a living treasure. I honor and value the unlimited resource of courage which is within me, and I respect the nature of who I am. There is nothing to fear. And then finally, and rather quickly, I'm just conscious of your time, we'll deal with this. This is interesting here. Now look at this creature. It seems to be bound up, almost constricted by a rose bush, and yet it has adopted the position within the entanglement of what's going on out there in the world, the ability to tend and to make roses of different colors and to turn what would otherwise be adversity into something which is of abundance and success. There is now a flowering of internal and external richness within you. Now, this is the sun ruling Virgo. Now, Mercury is the ruler of Virgo, and it's also exalted in Virgo. So this is a very favorable combination here. And the sun is energizing Virgo's hard work, what I think will be your attention to detail to make things happen. You might find that you are quite cautious, that you are taking calculated risks, maybe being careful with money. Physical attention needs to be brought to your body. And it's not about overextending yourself or underextending yourself. This is saying that you need the time and the patience to develop something. Don't rush it as it's a long-term thing, and just be prepared to sit back and bide your time. You've sown the seeds fertilize them, water them, and then watch them grow. This is definitely an encouragement for you to continue doing what you are doing, because it is going to lead to success. Of course, it's going to require dedication, focus, and patience. The same patience within which that creature is dealing with those rose bushes there. And it may not be apparent to you, but events are unfolding around you that are going to lead you to your destination, you know. You see, that which is coming into flower in you is of exquisite beauty and delicacy, so provide for it the protection and the nourishment it needs. You don't need to force anything, because everything is going to unfold for you at the proper time. Now, are you giving yourself the protection and nourishment you need now for your development? Just say this, because it is definitely true. I can relax and trust life. What a great set of cards for you, and you did a great job.
It seems that whenever I do a reading for you like this, that I always get so much out of it myself. So I hope that you certainly did. I find out more about myself, and inexplicably, somehow or other, it seems to me that I find out more about what is going on in the broader realm, in the cosmic realm. I enjoyed doing that, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did giving it to you. Now, unless I see you privately for a clairvoyant reading or for healing, then I'll see you again here next month. And until then, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.